Alrighty, are we there? Yep. What do I do? What do I do? Scenes, I guess. Yep. Let's see, did we switch it? Yep, seems fine. Interesting. Okay, it's good. Good evening, fellas. Those of you who joined. Is the volume okay? I guess volume is fine. And one thing that I didn't do, I guess, is if I go to YouTube Studio and I go live, I guess this is part 6. I guess we're gonna be doing Golang today as well. It's been a while since I streamed, so let's name this. Let's name Golang 6, right? Yeah. And Crystal, good evening on Crystal on YouTube. Interesting. So I guess I'll need to. Mic is a little bit too low, you're saying. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe the music is too loud. Or maybe your volume is also too low. Make sure that... should I learn PHP in 2024? Yeah, why not? You can learn... Yeah. The answer to any question, should I learn, is always yes. So you should learn anything you can. Now, the question rather should be, is there something better that I could learn than PHP? Then probably the answer to that as well is yes. So the question is a little bit unprecise, right? Music is on Twitch, not on YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have VODs, like Twitch. On Twitch, you can play music on that doesn't go into the recording, right? So yes, there is music, but it's on Twitch, not on YouTube. I'm not sending any music, no. All right, well, hey everybody. It's been a while since I streamed. It's been like 4 or 5 days. Yeah, exactly, Crystal, because all of these recordings remain on YouTube, right? So that's why there isn't. Yeah. Is the sound fine for those of you? For some of you, is the sound okay now? Obi, my friend, good evening. Sound is perfect. Great. Super. Golang. Okay. Great. Super. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to stream, to be honest. I mean, I wanted to stream. I was at my best man with my wife and my kid. But yeah, actually, I came back in time, so I actually made it. And I also started recording that bootcamp. Some of you might have noticed, right? So actually, maybe before we start the stream, maybe let's maybe add a message for that, so we can kind of let people know that there's a bootcamp. Let's influencer jury propaganda. Yeah, let's just share that. Give me a second. Go to dashboard. Was that CloudBot? I guess. Commands, timers. I think it's timers. Yeah. So let's rename this. Let's say what happened here? Bootcamp playlist. And if I go to my YouTube channel, I guess, give me just 1 second. So if I go to my YouTube channel and I guess I go to, yeah, to any of these recent videos I recorded. Give me a second here. How can I yeah. I have this playlist link that I'd like to share. Yeah, it's this one, okay. All right, there we go. Great, super. Okay, so that's good. We have that in there. Now we can kind of start coding. So let's see, what is this? Okay, so I was just doing some research. Great. So what do we do, right? So So a couple of streams ago, we started learning Go together, right? Because we want to use it for programming network and because I wanted to do something different. Give me 1 second. So I think we're going to continue with that today. Let's maybe zoom out a little bit. Let's get this full screen. So what it is, and hopefully some of those super cool goofers are going to join us tonight in the stream. So let's just make sure that all of the stuff that we need is running so we can actually and there's the Docker desktop. Yeah, there's something wrong with the start menu I have noticed since the last update. Give me 1 second here. So where is it? This is Bluetooth. Docker. Why is this thing bugging out? Yeah, doesn't matter. So let's run our Postgres container. So I guess it's this one, and then we can kind of start. Mikas, you too, my friend. Thank you very much. I haven't actually streamed since like 3-4 days, 5 days, since the new year and stuff. Just been with a lot of friends and family and my kid and my wife. But yeah, good to be back. All right, so yeah, so we started learning Go together, right? And there's all of that stuff that we did is recorded on YouTube. And then I had this to do here, right? So what we still have to do, what we still have to learn, right? And I think the last thing that we were doing in the stream, right? We wanted to write some tests in Go, right? Let's actually see, what did I mess up? I messed something up here. Import cycle, yeah. So yeah, I think I was trying some stuff that didn't quite work out. I think I was trying this off stream. So I have a controller, I have this model, I have the router here, config. Let's see what's actually happening. Yeah, I think this is the issue, right? I tried something off stream, which didn't kind of work out, right? So let's just clean that up and then we start again with what we've been doing. Okay, so that should be fine, right? Yeah, and I think what we did also a couple of days ago, we configure the debugger to run this with the debugger. Let's see. No, not really. Okay, let's run our terminal here. What was it? Run. Okay, and then we had let's run Postman here, right? And I think we had a history, didn't we? Have a history here. Database is fine, so let's go to Postman. Let's go to history over here, and let's see what we've been trying to hit. So yeah, so let's try this. Yeah, okay, so our little Go application still works, so that's great. That's good to hear, right? Let's go into this into the Zen mode, right? Just so we can focus on the code and not get distracted, right? So let's go into this Zen mode. So I think last thing we tried last week when I streamed was to use some interfaces to make our code a little bit more testable, right? So I think that's what we probably gonna do today, right? So basically what we have here, we have create DB player, we have create player, right? And then what we have, let me actually zoom in a bit. And then we have this Postgres client that's really kind of that's used directly like this in our controllers in Go, right? So what we wanted to do, we wanted to kind of make sure that these let's call it service methods, that they take an actual interface that we could like then create a mock interface for, I guess, and then test these things easier, right? I think this is what we wanted to do, right? So if we take a look at this, so let's see what we have, right? So we have our router here. We used Chai or Chi, if you remember, some of you last week. We have our player's structure here. And then in the controller, we have some of these things, right? So what we could kind of do, I guess, is we could export this a little bit different, right? So these are the actual controllers, right? So I guess what we could do is turn these into some sort of methods or utils, right? And then work with that, right? So let's actually see how we would do that, right? So right now, each one of these guys are all of these actual controllers or not. Let's go to our router. So we have get player and create player. So those two, right? And this is what we want to test. So this is an actual controller, and these are, you could say, some sort of services, right? So we have get player, we have get player by ID, and we have this create DB player. Yeah. So I hope that some of the goofers are gonna join today because we need their help. Okay. Let's try somewhere, right? So let's say here a service or utils.go, right? So let's say utils.go. We're gonna say package player, right? I guess. And what we can do, right, we can turn some of these things into an actual controllers, right? Or we can add those to the actual player, right? That's a little bit unclear right now, right? So let's see how we're gonna do this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some of these fellas over here. I'm gonna put them in here. I'm gonna just paste them. And let's see, create DB player, create player, get player by ID. Okay, let's get rid of these two. Let's just work on those two here. Now the question is, should we create these, create the methods or function receivers as they're called in Go on the struct itself, or should we keep it separate like this? Because basically, yeah, I think we should keep it separate like this, right? And then this create DB player is a function that we don't really need. So I guess we should merge this somewhere around here, right? Oh my God, here's our Go right hand. I was just mentioning if any of you goofers are gonna join. Good evening, buddy. How are you doing, sexy? So this is just a learning project, right? So past like 4 or 5 streams, we've been doing something new. On this stream, we've been learning Go. So this is not a meaningful project right now. This whole stream is about platform called Programmer Network. You can go to literally www.programmer.network. But past couple of streams we've been learning Go because we want to start learning. We want to start using Go with some services in Programmer Network. I want to use it at work. So this project has no significant meaning. This is a very simple project. It's just something tangible that we can use to learn, right? Sexy, what I want to do is, basically I'm stopping where we stopped last week. I haven't really done anything off stream on this. So what I want to do now is I want to turn these things into some sort of a repository or a service, so we can test them easier. So remember where we stopped last week, right? So, what happened here? Okay, never mind. So that's good. So what we want to do, right, is I want to make sure that this create DB player, for example, takes an interface, and then we want to mock things. But let's actually, so I shouldn't have done this. So let's just do this a little bit slower, right? So what I'm gonna do, I guess that should be fine now. So if I go to the models, I guess over here, where else, right? So bear with me. So I need to think a little bit, or maybe even here, right? So we have a Postgres client. Am I using this Postgres client somewhere? No. I have DB clients, have Postgres client. And then we had an idea to have some sort of a type, what was it, storer. That's an interface, right? And this storer would basically have, I suppose, if we take a look at the controller here, it would have create player, for example. So let's start with that, right? So we'd have this storer interface that has create player, right? And I guess we have to, but you can see that this is a literal controller function. So we probably want to turn this, we need to have this controller, but we should also have, I suppose, this logic improved a bit. So let's first merge these two things, and then we're gonna further on like decouple this stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get rid of this, right? Then I'm gonna comment this stuff out, and then I'm gonna do this, right? No, was it? No. Wait, what is happening? Wait a minute. Ah, okay, so this thing is not returning anything. Yeah. Trust gamers. I haven't streamed in like 4 or 5 days due to holidays, but I think it's going fine. I think it's going fine. I think it's going okay. I think I'm happy, right? We gonna for sure like use the Go. So I was actually very excited to stream again. It's just been a lot of family and New Year's celebration and stuff like that recently, right? But good man, very good, very good. Ah, okay, so we have a return statement here. So yeah, let's just not return anything. Let's just do this because yeah. NSD friend, good evening. So we're just now. It's been like a couple of days since I wrote Go, right? So bear with me, and we have Saxy here, and we have hopefully a few other goofers are gonna join to guide my my noob ass with Go, right? I still suck at Go, but that's why I'm streaming, so I get better at it, right? And it's good, man, good. Just a lot of family. I'm in the Balkans until 14th of January, so that's why you guys see me streaming from this office and not from my regular place, right? Okay, let me just see. Create player. We initialize the player variable here. I'm in Bosnia right now. I'm in a small city on the border between Serbia and Croatia. So we came to visit family, and we also have an apartment here. This apartment that I'm in right now, we bought this maybe 7 or 8 years ago. But I haven't been living in the Balkans for more than 12 years, I think. Around 13 years. I think I left around 13 years. Visit the yeah, Balkans, Romania, Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia. Beautiful countries, beautiful people. All equally good, all equally nice. Definitely would recommend. Hi, could you give me some tips to start streaming programming? Yeah, I mean, could I give you some tips? Start now. Don't procrastinate, just start, right? And see if it's something you like. And ask yourself why is it that you want to start streaming? What is your inspiration, right? Streaming is a very difficult thing in a sense of, especially streaming programming. This is a super huge niche, right? So it's gonna take a while, no matter how good you are. Actually, it's streaming programming, in fact, is not really about being a good programmer. This is an entertainment platform, right? So more stupid shit you do on your stream, more viewers you're gonna have. So be ready to have 50 people watching you after a year at best, right? We have Matteo Collina, the biggest, biggest creator of Fastify, member of committee of nodejs, and he on average has 20 people watching him, right? So it's clearly not about skills. It's about, people like streams where you just talk constantly. Like top most popular streamers of programming are just talking for the most part. They're not writing any code, right? But don't worry about the numbers. If you start worrying about numbers, it's gonna be the just start, right? Don't. Mr. Swaz, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. And please do not misunderstand me. I'm not trying to put anyone down. More power to everybody who does this. I admire them. Every streamer of programming, I admire them for what they're doing. I'm just trying to give the general feedback, advice that I've seen. And what I've seen is that when I had the highest amount of viewers at the same time, which was around, I think, 110, 20, that this only happened once, was pretty much when I was just talking for 3 hours. I haven't written a single line of code. And this is just how it is, and I get that. There's not to say if this is something you like, but again, don't get obsessed by numbers. I don't give a shit if there's 40 people watching or 300. I do this because I like it. It's fun. And if I can get 5 people here who like me, I have way more than that. I have people coming after a year watching me every night. I already feel I won, right? So I would always give, I would always vouch for having 5 constant people that are pretty much friends, virtual friends, than somebody who's gonna pass by, right, once and never come back. So don't worry about the numbers. Just start. Don't worry about the camera. Don't worry about fancy shit, right? Just start and make sure that you're happy, that you like doing it. And if you like doing it, people will like what you're doing. If you do it forcibly, people will also not like it, right? So just start. This is my advice for everybody. Yeah, I haven't Swaz. That's the thing, right? I mean, as you probably know, I'm not a like a content creator in that sense. I'm not like a streamer. I have very limited amount of time, right, in the evening like this when my kid is sleeping, when my wife is doing something else, and I kind of enjoy it to stay that way. I want it to be how I want it, right? I want it to be fun. So if it ever becomes my job, I would probably quit immediately because I have a full-time job already. So it would become too much, right? So it's a danger zone, right? So for instance, I would either do this full time, which actually I would never want to do that, to close myself in a room and just talk to the camera 10 hours a day. But you know, I would either do it full time or do it like this for fun as a hobby, right? So, but development, Carol, don't worry, just start. I'm sure that you have a lot to offer. We're all different. We are all likable by different types of people. Our characters are, you know, I'm sure that some people cannot stand my face, and there are people who can stand my face, and this is normal, right? Don't try to be liked by everybody, because you know how the saying goes: if you try to satisfy everybody, you're not gonna satisfy anyone, right? So be yourself, and you have your own character. I have mine, and that's how it is, right? I'm who I am, and if you don't like me, I don't give a shit. Find someone you like, and that's it, right? I'm not gonna, you know, pretend to be someone that I'm not. Okay, so going back to this, okay, so last time these goofers, these gurus, go gurus like Sexy, he said, you should create a interface called Storer, and then you should make some of these kind of service functions that we're gonna take the actual interface, and then you can have a mock, like you can pass different types of things as long as they satisfy that interface in Go, right? That's at least what I understood back then. So what I'm gonna do, and this is we're gonna get help from Spam TV. Thank you for coming, man. I saw your comment on YouTube. I mean, I think I did 4 or 5 Go streams, and then I haven't streamed past couple of days. Past maybe 5 days I haven't streamed because of holidays and New Year's and stuff. But I love Go. I mean, I'm so excited to stream this and to also do actually every Friday for an hour. So every Friday at work, me and my colleagues, my team, 2 other developers, we're gonna have a Friday Go workshop at work at the Dream Data where I work. So that's gonna be very interesting because 2 of my colleagues, they also want to learn Go. So this Friday I'm gonna kind of have a little workshop with them where I'm gonna teach them what I learned, and then we are already kind of starting a microservice in Go. We need to create a accounts microservice in the Dream Data where I work. So we're gonna use Go for that, and we're gonna, you know. So it's gonna be it's gonna speed up. I'm gonna get a lot faster. I'm gonna get better with Go a lot faster because already this Friday we're gonna start using it in my team. Other teams are already writing everything in Go. So far we've been writing everything in nodejs. So we're gonna actually now start next stream learning Go with my coworkers. I mean, if they would like that, why not? That would be pretty cool. Okay, so shut the fuck up now. Alright, so what do we do now? So what I want to basically do is I want to make sure that this is, let's call it a service, a function, whatever. So don't judge me yet. I'm going to do it the way that I know, and then somebody is going to tell me, well, so let's say here package player. I don't remember if I remember well. And I'm going to say here, yeah, I don't actually know shit. Monster, good evening, buddy. Yeah, because if I put it here in the utils, then I have to name it something else, I guess, because the controller is called create player, right? So, yeah, okay, so Okay, so let's not just complicate it for a moment. I just want to make sure that we do the interface thing properly, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say func insert player, whatever. Just bear with me. Don't judge me yet, right? It doesn't really matter, right? And then here I'm going to say that this takes the actual body, and this new, what is this new decoder taking? It's taking an IO reader. So basically this body, what is this? Where did I have this? This body is a field body IO reader. Okay, I actually have no fucking clue what it is. But okay. But basically we'll have to get rid of this. And then here I'll have to call this insert player, right? So I'll actually have to call this. So that's my idea right now. And this thing will have to take the body. So let's say that the body is, what was it? R dot, yeah, no, what was this? Body is HTTP dot request, right? Can I do like body like this, or maybe like something like, yeah, exactly. I've seen that in the code base of the Dream data as well. It's just now I'm kind of thinking like, how can I say that this insert player takes the body from the actual from the reader, like, right? If you get what I mean, right? So let's see. So body or basically let's even code it more generic, just for fun. Let's say data, and I want to say that this is HTTP a reader, request, right? But how can I then say, hey, it's any IO reader? You mean IO.reader like this? Ah, I see. No, I fully get you. Yeah, because this thing takes the IO reader. I get it. Okay, got it. Sure. You're absolutely right, because I can see here. Returns a new decoder that reads from. Yeah, okay. That's. Thank you. Perfect. But also what we need to make sure is that this insert player takes an interface, right? That it takes the storer, right? So here we would say storer, right? And then we would say storer, config storer, like this, right? If I'm kind of, yeah. No, but that's not how I did it, is it, right? So if I go to the clients, the store itself has a create player, right? So that kind of sucks. So no, that's not gonna do like that, right? Because this shouldn't take the store. It's, so basically I think it's, yeah, no, this is not correct. Or maybe it is correct. We'll see. Yeah, and then, fuck. You know what I want to do, right? I want to make sure, I want to be, so what I'm trying to do now, Felix, is I'm trying to, I want to test this easier, right? So you're saying that I create a method on the struct that writes to a database, because what I want to do is, so this is my controller, and this insert player, I wanted to make it kind of, I wanted to pass some interface. I wanted to have the storer so I can pass the mock one. But then I realized here that that's not going to do, because then I need to implement the storer in such a way so it knows about the clients and stuff. And I don't want it to know anything about the clients, right? So I could technically abstract out this logic into something that's mocked, right? Storer interface creates storer, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's, yeah, so in a nutshell, yeah, but then fuck, this is now always I see. Okay, so that wasn't really intuitive to me that much. So you're saying, okay, I see. I mean, I can do that, right? I can do that. Okay. So if we go to the actual model right here, you're saying, hey, create a say something like func, and then create a, and say here p player, What? Oh shit, sorry. That's unnecessary. So you're saying something like this, right? So you're saying create a method on the struct. I see. So this makes sense. I get it. Oh, I see. Okay, so so make it basically a service almost itself. I see. So create a, pretty much even an empty struct, right? So something like type player service or whatever, right? Something like this. I mean, again, I could use ChatGPT or whatever, right? It's just I don't want to do it, right? Okay, I see. Makes sense. Okay, got it. I see. All right. Now you can inject a store. Exactly, right? Exactly. Okay. And then I could basically have a mock one as well, right? So I could have something like, so in my test somewhere. Okay. And then here in the controller, right? Okay, give me a second. Let me open it up. One moment. I had a friend Felix at Airtame. I don't know if that's you, man. I don't know if it's the Felix that I know. Yeah, I mean, I see this, but that's not what I wanted. Let's keep this opened. Let's keep it opened. That's not quite what I get it, right? Let's just see, right? Because I think this is a better approach here, right? I find this to be slightly better approach, right? Because now, again, I think my biggest problem with mocking like this is that you duplicate a lot of code, right? So now we're gonna have to create a completely new. So that's why this sort of stuff is really good for end-to-end testing, right? Because now we have this service, which is our real service that's in production, but then we're gonna have the same create player that's gonna completely be mocked. It's gonna be completely almost duplicated code, right? So it's like no matter idiomatic or not, you technically you're not really testing something that's running in production. You're completely right mocking it up, recreating it from scratch, and that's why I often prefer some almost end-to-end tests here, where I actually spawn like a testing database. I run the API. I do some requests and stuff like that, right? So that's the difference, because now I get that we will be able to bypass some shit here, right? But it's just loses so much value, right? What are we then testing, right? What is the point of the testing then, right? But it doesn't matter, Max, right? That's a different. We haven't implemented like any architecture here, right? We're not there yet. That's beside the point. No matter what you do, right? You're gonna be mocking away, taking away. I mean, look at this, right? This is there's pretty much no business logic in here. So when we mock this thing now, we're gonna say, hey, pretend to be doing this, but what are we gonna test? So that is the philosophical question when you're trying this stuff like this, right? It's just like, hey, what are we actually testing here, right? So that kind of sucks ass, but that's what it is, right? It's just okay. Wait a minute. Player service. So what are we supposed to do here now? So am I supposed to have another abstraction like in here? Am I supposed to now storage should be a field in the service? You mean here the struct itself? Here? Storage should be a field in the service. Like this? Sorry. Oh, I see. But what should be the type of the storer then? So we have the structure. So this is the controller, right? Then we potentially could have another thing that calls our service, right? Yeah, please do. But I guess, right, so over here, right? So this would be taken away. Yeah, that's a little bit confusing, right? Because oh, oops, sorry. So So I think that this we will need this abstraction here, right? We'll need this almost as a because we will have to mock this. We're pretty much gonna have, I guess, something like player mock service, right? And this is gonna also have some stuff like this, I suppose, right? And then you would have the same crap. That would pretty much do this. And then here we would expect to return something, right? So instead of returning something like this, because actually this is just creating stuff, we would just return. So we wouldn't actually take this thing. Well, I guess we would need it because of testing, right? I mean, all of this stuff that I'm doing now isn't really for the architectural reasons. Like, it's not that I'm trying to clean up the code. It's more because we want to write some tests, right? Morgan is going to do it for you. Okay, I see. Okay. I see. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, then let's get rid of this, right? So let's see what Felix is going to send us. Because I don't see it right now. So we have the struct that has this store store interface that implements the store interface, right? So I'm not sure what Felix is trying to tell us here. So let's see. I'm eager to learn. And then where are we here? So yeah, so here we have, so I guess here we would say var player service or whatever. Let's just say here service player service. And then what we would say service dot create player, right? Awesome. Let me open that up. Ah, shit, man. We have so many people on. Sorry, I wasn't reading, guys, on YouTube. If you're still there, why do you use the sidebar on the right side? Is there a reason? There's a reason, right? My code doesn't jump, and generally your focus should be the code, not the sidebar items. You can see if I do this, you can see, well, because right now you see jump it because I zoomed in like crazy, right? But you can see that if I do this, my code is not jumping. If your sidebar is to the left and you're opening and closing your sidebar, your whole editor is jumping from left to the right. That's one reason. And then another reason, of course, is that you don't need this. You're not staring at this. Your code should be in focus, right? So that's the reasoning behind it. Let's get into the Zen mode, if that makes sense, right? Thank you very much for the follow. All right, so let's go back here. So we have this service.createPlayer, right? But this doesn't help at all, right? This doesn't help. I mean, we haven't achieved anything, right? We still haven't made it easier for testing, right? I guess. Have we? Have we actually achieved anything here? So we have this player service. We have the create player in here now. We're calling it here as a service.createPlayer, but did we actually did we solve anything in the context of testing? I don't think so, right? Unless you're saying that I can mock this thing now somehow easier, right? Right, so maybe if you're saying we got rated. Shadow Frost. Thank you, Shadow Frost, and good evening. Let me see let's give a shout out to Shadow Frost. Shadow Frost. What a cool nickname. No. What was the command? I don't know command, man. Shit. What was it? Shout. Oh, shout out. Yeah, I never know these commands, man. Okay, so let me just see this. Player store. Of course, man. My pleasure. Thank you. Okay, so wait. We have in here local package, player store, blah, blah. In your service package, we have a store that has insert. And then we have a player service that... Oh, interesting. Okay, I see what's happening here. Okay, very interesting. Yes. So we have the player store. Then we have a function receiver here. Okay, so let's use this. Thank you very much. So let's use this. Let's try to implement this ourselves, right? And then we're gonna see. So let's clean this test file up. So let's go to our models here, right? So what do we have? So we also have a player. That's great. We have a player store. Okay. Is this idiomatic Go though? No, actually this is a struct, so it's okay. Sorry, my bad. So we have. Okay, I see. So let's implement this fully as it is. So we have type player store, which is a struct, right? Which has a DB field, which is this, right? Great. And then we have a method, a function receiver on it. So we're gonna say func p player store, and then we say insert, right? So that's great. We will implement this. So let's also say return nil for now. What did you say? Ah, so it is a player. Okay. That's great. What else do we have? Then we have in your service package. I see. Okay, so when you say that, I'm instantly thinking I should probably create a service inside of this resource, right? So I suppose I should create and I was told that I shouldn't nest the folders. I should try to. It's not idiomatic Go to nest folders too much, right? So when you say when you say here in your service package, I'm thinking I should probably. Can I create a file then? Because what I've learned is that the folder itself defines the package name, right? So you're basically suggesting me to create a service folder somewhere. Neo, good evening, buddy. And let me just read the YouTube chat so I don't neglect people there. I see. Okay. Yeah, shit, I don't like that. Because this is my structure now. I have internal, I have API, and a player inside of the API. That's how I encapsulate things, right? It's just like, I really wish that I can just say here service.go, right? But that wouldn't work. Like what my experience is telling me, for example, is saying me like service.go, right? And then it would still be package player, right? And then I would have like, a type, player, service, interface, whatever. This is what I want to do, right? This is what kind of, my brain. You would just move the API for. Okay, let's do that in a moment. So, okay. So let me do this, and let me do this, and let me do this. Yeah, okay, this is wrong. Wait a minute, sorry, my bad. Because this is actually supposed to be a struct, right? Not an interface at the first place, right? Alright, so let's take a look at here. So here we have player service. It implements a store. Okay, we'll need to, this is so important. This is literally almost half of the Go in a nutshell. Because I know that Go is all about these interfaces, right? In your service package, okay, so here you're telling me, hey Alex, say type store interface, and it's gonna have an insert, okay, and then we should probably get over here and get rid of it, get rid of this. Yeah, so that's the difference, right? Shit. Okay, I see. So basically, shit. Yeah. Now, one thing that I've noticed, Felix, right, is that you haven't, that you've passed this as a value, not as a pointer. Is there a reason for that? Wouldn't it be more efficient if we just pass the reference instead, right? Because I don't think we want to recreate this player service every time, right? You would think that we would want it almost as a singleton, right? It's an interface. Oh, okay. Okay, so but you can see, so I can see now why I kind of haven't nailed it myself, right? Because this is interesting, right? The player service, the structure itself implements an interface, right? So that's so exactly right. So this is exactly what I wanted, right? Right. So now we can implement different interfaces. So basically, Nurko, my friend, good evening. p.store.insert. I really like this. I think this makes a lot of sense. So now we have a so now the question is, give me a second. Let me just close up some of this stuff. No, well, I mean, yeah, but my issue is still conceptual. It's just wrapping my head around all of these interfaces, right? So that's my current issue now, because we have a service now that calls this insert from the actual interface from this thing, right? Still, the problem that I see with this is that this is still coupled to this player service here, and I'm just still thinking about the mocking of this, right? But I guess. And then this is the controller, right? Service create player. The store should take an actual player and return an error. Wait, give me a second. Wait. I think I'm too stupid right now. Like way too dumb. Okay. I think we're way too stupid right now. No, don't worry. No, don't do it. No, because that would defeat the purpose. I wanna bleed a little bit. I wanna struggle. It's okay. This is the best time for us to for me at least to learn it, right? So don't worry. So don't worry yet, please. Field DB is unused. Let me bleed, right? It's okay. Definitely. So wait a minute. So p dot db dot. Okay. Let me bleed. It's okay. Let me suffer. So this player service should implement a store that has an insert method. But our player store has an insert. So yeah, this seems wrong. Where is this service? I mean, this code doesn't belong here, I think. It feels a little bit weird. Shouldn't this thing be on the player service here? Shouldn't it be something like this? Yeah, I mean the storer should. So the storer should implement. So okay, it's good. It's getting there. It's great. Don't worry. It's super. The storer itself. So wait. So what is the player store? What is this supposed to do? Is this our our client, right? Because the name is unclear. What is player store? Is this our DB client, right? What is this? Because this is not about understanding, it's about where do we want to put things, right? This is my DB layer. Okay, well then we could okay. But what is a DB layer again in this context? It can be many things. Do we want to put our create user whatever on these things and do the database queries, or do we want to do that on a player service, right? Because player service should really just use this client here, nothing else. My player service should just use this DB object to get access to underlying methods like exec, query, and all of that shit, right? And then I guess my player service here implements the store interface, and this store has but it's I'm more actually asking you guys because I want to do it idiomatic way. It's not I want to do it exactly how you guys would generally do it in Go, right? Because the thing is, there's so many ways you can do this. You can implement your service methods, if I may, on this thing directly. You can say, hey, this player store will know how to create a user, how to delete a user, whatever. Or because the name here becomes a little bit confusing, right? The player service is not implementing store there. It's taking a store. Well, it's doing this, right? If I'm not wrong. Is this correct, Felix? This is correct, right? So player service is supposed to just call the store.insert and pass it the data, right? Exactly. So we're on the same page. Good. That's great. I get it. I think I'm slowly getting it. Just let me think, because what I've noticed is that when I go too much back and forth, I kind of lose the thought in this context because I still suck at this big time. So we have the player store, but I'm not gonna call this player store. I kind of dislike that. I'm gonna call this. I don't know. I would much rather call this something like DB client or whatever. I don't actually know. I can also call it players. It just confuses me a little bit. Okay, this is our controller. We're gonna get rid of that soon. Player repo. Yeah, maybe we could do that as well. Yes. Bear with me just for a moment. And then, so we have the insert, and this should basically just be calling some insert that exists on. So player service implements a store. And I guess, am I still using this shit? Because you can see before I called it Postgres client, right? So I guess I'm gonna actually get rid of this, and because I literally had the clients in here, right? And then we'll want to do the same with these guys, right? We'll pretty much want to do the same here, right? Can I do like this? How would this look? Or maybe like this, right? Just for now. What is this complaining? Invalid operation, player and untyped nil. Oh shit, is it the reverse? Did I reverse the order? I guess that's the issue, right? Yeah. I don't know, Felix, if I'm getting this. Return error last always. Got it, okay? Sorry. That's you're actually absolutely right. I've seen that already. Yeah, please do. I mean, absolutely. It's just I want to suffer a bit because so we have the store, we have the player service, we have what do we have? We have the player store here. Player service. Yeah, I don't see this. No, I don't see this. What? Query row, what the fuck? It's not that I don't want it. It's not that I don't want it sexy. It's just I'm kind of stuck in my mind with this, right? Because so we have this client. Let's call it. We just have a database client here, right? I have a controller in here that pretty much just calls the service create player, right? But then we have this story here. We have this interface that the player service implements, and then the player service expects, right? So there's, it's just I'm not kind of getting it fully yet, to be very frank with you, right? Because I'm not. That's the problem. I just don't see yet how is this solving my problem of testing, right? Have a player service that implements this, that takes this story interface. Yeah, I don't know. No. Not really. Give me like 2 minutes. I just wanna fail first fully before I do that. Chica, my friend, good evening. No, not yeah, yeah. No, that's just holidays. I haven't been streaming lately at all. But you're right. You're right. That's a good one. That's a good one. Uh, that's a very good one, actually. What the fuck is that? So start doing Golang. You start. That's a good one, actually. I wish it was coding. I wish I wish it was from coding. Genuinely, that would have been better. It's just been holidays and stuff, right? I wrote PHP so many years ago, man. One of my first job was PHP, and then selling WordPress plugins. This was more than 15 years ago. Uh, you got no Lambo? Yeah, I mean, I was too young. I was too dumb when it comes to money, right? When I was around 18 years old, so almost 18 years ago, I made a lot of money for my age, right? But I was still in high school, so I wasn't really smart in that sense, right? Yeah, no, I just didn't feel like shaving lately. My wife hates the beard. She's the main reason why I shave. In general, I can grow pretty big beard, but my wife hates it, so that's why I like shave every 3 4 days. Okay, so let's imagine this was even remotely accurate, which of course this is by no means done in any way, right? We have the store interface, which this player service takes, right? Which this player service has a property store on it, right? Which and as Felix said, it's implicit. We just have to pass something that implements the same things, right? But pass it where, right? That's kind of where the confusion is, right? Because the thing is, we're creating these function receivers or methods in the player service. If these weren't function receivers, to me that would make more sense in that sense. Because here I would then say, here I would, if I was passing the storer, right, and then storer, then that would kind of make some sense to me, right? Like if we did this, and then we did like storer, then now I can kind of make sense of this. Right now I know that so this kind of I can make sense of. But when we create the methods on it like this, is like how do we then, right, like how do I then reuse this interface here, right, without creating a completely new service like a mock service or some shit, right? That's a little bit unclear to me, right? So this is the controller. The controller has the service, if what now we're calling, and then the service calls this repository, if we may, right? It's calling the create player on the store itself, right? And now I could obviously, I guess I have to implement now these fellas on the service itself, right? How the else could I satisfy this interface? This is kind of confusing the living shit out of me, right? you can see here, right? So this is the interface that the store requires. Okay, we have an example. Let's take a look at it. Muhammad, thank you very much, buddy. And sorry for the late response. I haven't been reading. No, it's not advanced. This is super simple. It's just I suck. I still suck, so take everything I do with a grain of salt. I still suck. Give me a few more streams and then I'll get very good at it, I'm sure. I see. I mean, yeah. The thing is, I mean, I think I should maybe just also at least spend 3 hours off stream, right? Because all of the work we did so far, it was all on the stream. I haven't spent 1 second off stream, right? Because it's easier, right? With this sort of stuff, if I sit with my headphones just for like 30 minutes, right? It's just reading the chat and doing this in this very simple specific context is a little bit different, right? It's just you feel a little bit of pressure, right? Okay, chillax. Good evening, buddy. How you doing? It's implicit. This works. Okay. Okay. So this is so here we do the injection. So let's see. So we create the store, new store. We pass the DB. Wait, I need to go to other files. I'm sorry. Example. API. Internal data. Yeah, so this is it, right? This is it, right? So this is the trick, right? This takes the store itself now, right? Man, it's just holidays. It's just holidays, celebration and all of that stuff, right? So I haven't been around much. I just managed to. I started this bootcamp a few days ago, but I literally just spent like 20 minutes a day recording a video. So I haven't been. Oh shit, man! I missed the message from Sexy, from Sexy. Likewise, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Likewise. Let me actually bookmark this right away. If this is what you're amazing. Let me just put this in the bookmarks bar right here, so I can take a look at it. No, I didn't drink much. No, I just eat so much. I have a pain in my gizzard. Rakias, 60% easy. No, never. Never. I've been living in Scandinavia for too long, man. For too long. I just drink beer. I'm pussy. Anything more, I cry like a little baby. Inject the store interface. Okay. Look. So this example, I think is gonna be sufficient as well for me to get this right, but I can't do it. I'm having a trouble I'm having trouble focusing because jumping back and forth, right? But let me try to let me try to ignore you. Let me try to ignore you guys in chat, right? I'm just gonna try to ignore you for a moment and focus on this. Fucking annoying people, man. Unbelievable. Okay, so we create this fake player database struct just to satisfy the interface, because as we know, it's implicit, right? So as long as some struct implements some method, that's acceptable, right? So we do that, we initialize, we connect to a database, great. So with this detail we can avoid. And then we create a store passing the database. We create a, what is the players? Where's the players? Players is what? We create a new service passing this store. And then player service dot create players dot create player. Is this normal in Golang to have a struct named like this, create player? Is this like something that you guys commonly see? Wow, okay. That's a little bit weird if you ask me. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, create player params. Okay, good. Look, literally, genuinely asking, I want to learn from you guys, because that's why I stream this. I want to learn from the real Go programmers, right? That's, I want to learn what the idioms are, how the community does it, right? Just for example purposes, got it. So create player params. I see. Because yeah, here we have the input. I see. Okay. So I guess the whole magic, right, is with this service. This is kind of generic service that implements this interface store that can be, you know, anything that satisfies that thing, right? So I guess that is the core of all of this stuff, right? So you have this create, yeah, and it calls this insert player, right? So whatever this service is, right? So I guess that is the magic, right? That is the stuff that I need to wrap my head around in Go, right? Right. So and I like this. I like this a lot. This makes a lot of sense, right? You have this method on the service S, and the service can really be implement some it has to implement this interface, right? So yeah, so there are several things, right, that I just have to get used to. That's why I'm staring at this for so long. There's the structural differences that I'm used to, right? How this code is structured. But then yeah, there are, so we are kind of doing what I was trying to avoid, just for the sake of learning, right? But now we are actually adding abstractions, and of course we have to. I get that, right? But that is the thing. We have added now a bunch of abstractions, right, to achieve this, right? Yeah, exactly. So I was also trying to avoid it, but to some degree, I mean, Felix is absolutely right. This is kind of what I wanted anyway. It's just a little bit now, slightly too soon maybe, but it's fine. I'll get it. I do kind of get it. It's just I need to stare a little bit at it, right? Because yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe just jump, exactly, because that's how we started like our first stream, right? And where do I create? Where did we create this service? This new service? Where did we call this? I guess here. And then if we go to main, this is where we created a service. Exactly. So yeah, so here's right. So here first we create the store, and then we let's where is it? Can we like jump there now? Let me actually just do it like this. I'm just gonna open up another file. I guess no, not the API. I'm gonna go back internal. I'm gonna go players service. Give me 1 second. Tech leads don't start this. What a troll. Oh, I love it. I love how he praises me even though I suck ass with this Go thing. Beautiful. What an encouragement. You're gonna have a good career with your soft skills. Look at Alex, he's so smart. Beautiful. Hopefully music isn't too loud. It probably is. Shit, it's too loud. It's too loud. It's too loud. Okay. It's too loud. Alright, so okay. Alright. So what I'm actually gonna do, what I'm going to do is this. I'm actually going to get rid of all of this. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna get rid of all of it, right? Because you guys confuse the living shit out of me. Okay, so I'm gonna implement this from scratch, right? I'm gonna leave this because I don't remember. I don't remember the syntax of chai, so I'm gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna leave this. I have a player struct here. You know what? Actually, you know what? So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna. It's too much. It's too much if I do this. It's too much, honestly. Wait, I need to be careful here. I'm just thinking. How is the error handling in Go? It's good, I think. It's great. I love it. It's very verbose in the context of syntax, so if that's what you mean, yeah, could be better probably, right? But you treat errors as values, as first-class citizens, right? So that's good. I think that's great. I love it. I think it's great. Okay. So let's come here and say struct. Sorry. Let's say type player struct. And somewhere I'm just gonna close all of this crap. I'm gonna close that as well. Yeah, so I'm actually just gonna get this piece of code, right? That's pretty much what I want to keep. Because I think I get this. It's just too much crap all over the place. Yeah, I've actually heard that before, right? I'm just trying to now conceptualize this, right? So we're gonna have a player. We're gonna have this guy, this struct. We're gonna have let's actually call this a service, and this is gonna take, I guess, simple motherfucker. So let's come here. So let's wait a minute. So here we're gonna say so this way we can inject something, right? So we can inject something in here, and that's kind of what I wanted from the what pretty much Felix did. Is your bootcamp gonna have Golang? To be honest, like at one point in time, probably it would be very unfair for me to teach Golang now because I suck at it. I would not dare. So as long as I keep saying that I suck, and I do suck. Obviously, clearly, this is basic stuff that I'm incapable of doing yet. But maybe in a couple of months from now, once the bootcamp is almost done with things that I do know very well, then I think it would be great to add some of this also for me to polish up and stuff. But right now, I would not dare to say that anyone should take my advice from me on Go. That would be like, I would not want to learn Go from a guy like I am, right? So yeah, that would be bad. And then also we need a create store as well, right? So we need something like create store. Let's call it create store instead. I don't actually know if that no. No, yeah, I started some bootcamp. I started some bootcamp a couple of days ago. Yeah, I'm teaching in that bootcamp. Yeah, exactly. So I can share. Actually, yeah, that's good. Two assholes disliked my video, motherfuckers. Who the hell does that, man? How pathetic you have to be. Crazy shit, man. Jesus Christ, why would you do that? Yeah, here's the bootcamp. I'm gonna try to record as many videos as I can. But yeah, I just started it like 2-3 days ago. Oh, actually, so here you have it. Okay, so wait, so let's go to your data here. Store go. Here you have it. Hello, goofers. Yeah, I mean we could technically skip this part, right? Because I don't see. Yeah, okay, I see why this, you could say this can be useful, right? Because here we actually create a table for this specific resource, right? But yeah, it's still that we are always depending on the SQL client, right? But yeah, that's a different story. I would rather say that I'm being taught here than teaching, but I think it's a good video series to kind of struggle together, right? Because you know, I went to YouTube, I wanted to kind of watch some videos, I didn't have the time, and then I see there's videos like learn Go in an hour, right? And obviously I was even making videos about like that many years ago in other languages. It's just you can't. That's not. It's not about learning syntax, right? It's about sitting and writing this stuff out, and it's really about this idiomatic Go, right? So it's not. It's a language that's specific in that sense, is that it has quite and well-defined rules, which makes it one of the core reasons why I want to learn it, right? So obviously, again, and genuinely saying this, I could potentially suffer way less by sitting on my own, and I will do that at one point, probably this week. I need to sit on my own off stream, right? But it's so fun, you know, being guided by some of you, right? It's way more fun, right? So it's not that I can't. The whole point of the streams is to see that actually that anyone struggles. I mean, nobody just sits and learns a language in 20 minutes. If it worked like that, then things would be very different, right? Nobody does that. I've been coding in so many languages in my career, and when you learn a new language that has new rules and stuff, you have to struggle a bit, right? It's just how it is. Especially the structure, right? And stuff like that. It's super weird to me, right? That's and yeah, I don't see. No, don't stress, man. But that is the beauty of that, right? If you could just approach something in 10 minutes, then you would probably be so bored, right? Or something would be off, right? I mean, it's again the hardest thing when learning a new programming language. The hardest thing is not the language, it's the ecosystem. You know, like what do I use when I do this task? How do I approach this task? How do I structure this? How do I name this? There's so many of these things that are not related to I'm confused how mutexes and channels work. I don't think that anyone is going to be confused by that, because those are technically, you have documentation, right? It's more about all of the other things that you can only learn by being in that ecosystem, right? It's like, hey, let's write C#. Yeah, it's not the problem to learn C# as the syntax. It's like, how does the community work? What do you do in certain things, you know, when approaching certain problems, etc., right? You can hear me very quietly. That's very different. Oh, there's some messages. There's some messages on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, YouTube. Garbage will collect you purchase. How many? No, I mean, there's nothing I can use Rust for, right? I mean, I'm learning Go because I practically need it. I'm not gonna learn some language because some fucking content creator is using it. I don't give a shit about content creators. Like 1%, right? Why would I learn Rust? For what? What am I gonna build in Rust? Genuinely. So seriously, what would I build in Rust now? Tell me. What would I build in Rust now, right? An API? Who the fuck builds APIs in Rust, man? We're gonna build a video game. Which video game? A website, right? Well, I can only build a YouTube community or a stream, right? No. But I'm genuinely asking a practical question, right? What did you make in Rust? Look, this is not a rude question. It's a genuine question. A lot of people came to this stream past years like, why don't you use Rust? And then I asked them, what the fuck did you build in Rust? Like, it's a simple question, and none of them ever built anything, right? It's incredible, right? It's like, what did you build in Rust? Show me some fucking thing that you built. Like, everybody keeps saying this crap, right? It's like, what did you build, man? It's like, there's so much of this theory in this community. It's incredible, right? It's like, oh, why don't you write, this website in Rust? Well, which website did you build in Rust? No, please, I'm not referring to anybody in the chat, right? By no means, right? I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying, what would I, as a web developer, use Rust for, right? So it's not to say that it's just like people can't answer the basic question. A lot of them, right? It's like nobody ever built anything in it. I'm yet to see a person that shows me something. That I know that look, if I was an embedded programmer, if I was a C programmer working on PCBs, whatever, I would probably look at Rust. I would say, well, okay, I mean, it's a low-level thing. It has, it's safe as far as I've heard, so I would try it out, right? But what the majority of us, Towery apps, yeah, okay, that's a good point, actually, yeah, that's a valid argument, yeah. Towery is way better than Electron. Electron, wraps the whole V8 runtime. That's why when you install it, right? So that's exactly what I'm looking for. So hey, why would I learn Rust? Well, you could maybe have more access to low-level system if you wanted Towery. Yeah, that's a good point, right? It's just like, you cannot suggest a language to a person that there's nothing. I'm not going to build an API in Rust because the thing is, right, when you say such a thing is like you can build anything. You can build anything in assembly as well. You can build a website in C if you want, right? That doesn't mean that you should. You get what I mean? So it's like crazy to say like you can build anything in any language. It doesn't mean you should, right? So you're not going to build an operating system in JavaScript, right? I mean, right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, look, I'm just saying. I guess the thing that I'm trying to say is that this is like I work as a tech lead and team lead past couple of years, right? And let me tell you one thing. There are several fundamental questions that I ask people who come to me with technical suggestions, and also some response. So when somebody comes to me and says, hey Alex, how about we use X? My first question is why? Obviously, that should be your question always. Why? But then there's a second thing. If you as a developer want to propose a technology to your team, let's say, it's your job to sell it. It's not my job to buy it. You are selling it. You came to your team and said, hey, well, why don't you use Rust? That's not the approach. You have to sell it. You have to make your team interested. For example, to say, right, it's like why, right? So it's people oftentimes, it's like, well, why don't we use this? Well, why don't we? Why don't you tell us why don't we use it, right? Instead of us trying to fish for reasons. So if you say, hey, why don't you use this? Well, you should tell me why I should use it, right? What is the value? What would change for me, right? What would it accomplish for me, right? Well, in theory, if you had 7 billion users on your platform, it would work out of the box. It's like, man, I don't have 20 users yet, right? So come on, right? So there's so much of that bullshit, right? It's incredible. It's like if you had the whole world signed up on programmer network, it would be so fast, memory efficient. You could run it on a calculator. It's like, why would I run it on a calculator, man? For $5 a month, I can get 2 gigs of RAM, right? So you see, like you have to kind of have that mentality, right? Because it's very dangerous in this. Some of you have watched my video called "Influencer-Driven Development Programming Propaganda," right? It's very scary not to challenge things, right? Yeah, for sure. It's all about being pragmatic, right? I think people should actually go back and start reading Pragmatic Developer again. Okay, well, anyway, so is this Felix? Let me actually follow Felix on GitHub. Felipe dos Santos. Well, you have a second follower, my friend. Thank you, buddy. So helpful. So I'll need to. Why nobody buys me? Yeah, send me your GitHub, of course. I mean, I don't follow many people, man. I just follow like this guy earned it. He's helping me, right? I follow 4 people, and he's one of them now. I have 3 people actually. Felipe, you. No, dude. Your advice is good. I like how you think. Man, I look so young and pretty in this picture. Look at me now. Started writing Rust. I look like an ape. That's what 4 streams of Rust do to you, right? I'll follow you guys for $500. All of you. So if you send $500 to the account, write it down. IBAN 350991. Fucking beggars, man. Look at them. Oh, nobody wants to give me a follow on GitHub. Alex, will you do that? Oh my god. Jamming, hiking, chilling, doing. Jamming. Why the fuck did you put G at the end? You have apostrophe on every word. Chilling, doing. Why didn't you say jamming? Let me just fix this for you, bro. Chilling, doing, jamming, hiking. There we go. Chilling, doing, jamming, hiking. All right. Let's follow this guy. He's active, good. Yeah. So basically, I just made $1,000. Beautiful. Felix, chillax. Just send me the account number is as follows: 395. Let me save this golden thing. Shit, man. Why did I fuck up my own code? I'm actually sad now that I removed my whole entire code. Didn't actually want to do that. Matus, my friend, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you, man, as well. Good to see you again. Where's this crap? Main go. Okay. Did you fix it? Chillin'. Let me see. Chillin'. Doing. Jamming. Hiking. I love it. Reading. Chillin'. Doing. Jamming. Hiking. Oh my god, he lives in a city where I was born. Beautiful. I was born in this city, motherfucker. I miss Sarajevo, man. It's a beautiful town. It's hard to breathe there now, I've heard. Coding. Chillin', doing stuff and go. Jamming, reading, hiking. Beautiful. Beautiful. Super. I have this golden thing here. Let me just store these beautiful resources. Code review comments. Okay, wait, I opened it on a different computer. Shit, man. Fuck, I'm pressing a wrong keyboard, man. I have two laptops here. Why Golang? Golang is a beautiful language, that's why. It's the language of Kubernetes, of GCP, of Docker, of APIs. So it's and it's a beautiful language on top of all of it. It's a truly, most likely arguably the most stable language that I've seen in my career. And I think I could be an asshole to say that I've seen enough of them. Rebecca is here. Rebecca, I thought you're gone. I thought you said, oh my god, this annoying guy. I'm gone from here. And also, to be very honest, like, okay, let me just admit one thing. The reason why I want to learn Go is the logo, okay? I mean, come on, man. Look at this. Wait, look at this. Look at this. Not my face. My face is beautiful, but that's beside the point, right? Look at this, man. Look at this logo. If this is not super fucking cool logo, man, what is? Look at this. If this is not enough to learn Go, come on, man, right? Actually, look at this. I got so obsessed by this logo, right? That I generated my own logos using Midjourney. Let me show you. This is from my YouTube and shit. Look at this. Look what I generated, man, for the Christmas. Look at this beautiful goofer. Look at this. Look at this. Come on, man. Is this not super mega hipster, right? Fucking hipsters, right? We all hate them. Let's agree on that. But that's beside the point, right? Look at this. Right? So how dare you ask me why Go, right? How dare you ask me why Go? Look at this. If this is not sufficient to learn a language in this hipster industry, look at this. Come on, man. Let's generate one together. Where's my Discord? Let me change this music, man. What the fuck? Calm down, bro. Jesus Christ, man. Damage. Let's play. Somebody subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much for the sub. Let me actually see who it was. I'm like such an asshole. I miss it sometimes. It's Cranberry Wine. Cranberry, thank you very much for the sub, buddy. Alright, so wait. Look at this now. What is this crap, man? Ah, I see. So let's go here. Let's go to Midjourney here, and let's say, imagine a Golang goofer in space writing code, simple, cartoonish. Put some Pink Floyd. Kitty, I haven't respected you until now. Now I'm gonna show respect. A person that listens to Pink Floyd is a friend of mine. I don't respect actually anybody except you right now in this whole stream. Beautiful. I mean, a person that listens to Pink Floyd, what is to say, right? What is to say? Look at this. Okay, chillax, I do respect you, man. A little bit. Ah, shit. There's an Iron Maiden fan. There's an Iron Maiden fan there. Even more respect. Look at this, man. And you're saying, hey, Alex, why do you want to code in Golang, right? Come on, man. Look at this guy. Look what we just generated with AI, right? Look at this. Come on, man. Look at this. I mean, if this is not the reason to learn a programming language, what is? Let's upscale this version 4. Right, Rebecca? Right? Let's upscale it 4 times. Let's say upscale 4x. So beautiful. Look at this. Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's do one thing together. Together. Come on, man. .NET mascot. Let's see what it does. Let's just wait for this. Let's do one thing. Look at this now. Wait, let's download this. Let's go to Photopea, this free version of Photoshop. No. Let's go. Let's do something. Let's do something. Let's do one interesting thing, right? Bear with me. Bear with me. So okay, so let's run this through this clipping magic service to remove the background, right? Let's download this crap. Download, and then let's go to Vectorizer AI. It's a service that's gonna convert this shit into a vector, into basically a vector. You know, it's gonna be a geometric shape that uses math for scaling, so we can infinitely scale it, right, without losing quality, right? Beautiful, beautiful. There's something. So, no, it's good, it's good. Okay, beautiful. Let's download this again. Let's download the PNG, right? Let's go to Photopea. And then let's do this, right? Let's drag this asshole here. Now we have the image here in Photopea, right? Actually, we don't even need that. We didn't even need that, right? Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, let's take this. Let's go to upload image. Let's go to paste bar, whatever. Let's upload this bullshit, right? Beautiful, upload. Yes, great. Let's go to image. Let's go to image. Beautiful. Let's open image in a new tab. Let's copy the image. Let's go to VS Code. Let's go to user settings. Let's search for background. Let's go to this crap. Let's do this. Let's install the background. Ah, almost. Wait. Let's do the alignment. Let's say center, right? And then let's install again. Look at this. Are you jealous? Yes, of course you're jealous. Of course you're jealous. Come on. How cool is this? Look at him. Look at him. Senior dev. Senior tech lead skills. Look at that. Fucking assholes, man. I know that you're just jealous. It's like, yeah, I wish I can do that. Well, that's what it is. At least, Rebecca, at least. I mean, now I actually know Go. I can sell a course easily to my followers. Only $99.99, right? Eberman. Well, I think so. We can discuss that, Eberman. But I guess it would be the same of asking anything. what is the reason of choosing anything over anything else? What is the reason choosing Vim over VS Code, right? What would be that reason of that, right? Because the thing is, all of these guys who are trying to sell you Vim courses, Emacs courses, VS Code courses, etc., there's one fundamental lie in every single one of these editors, is that if you can press keys faster, you're going to be coding faster. That's the biggest fucking bullshit in programming industry ever. Look, I'm not saying, I know Vim pretty well. I'm okay with Vim, right? But what does that mean, superior text? I don't understand, man. Like, what does this mean? What is superior text manipulation? That's almost like I'm talking to a salesperson in Microsoft. And I'm like, hey, I want to buy a computer. And they're like, our computers have very fast because they have hardware, right? What does it mean, superior text manipulation, right? That makes, what is the, like, what does that even mean? Why would I, what exactly are you superior with compared to me and my VS Code? Because the thing is, if programming job was writing code 8 hours constantly, if our job was just like pressing keyboard for 8 hours, then you could say, okay, the how fast you press your keys influences how productive you are. But productivity has nothing to do. No, but it's just a bullshit thing, man. Look, I'm not suggesting that any of you shouldn't learn anything. Learn whatever hell you want. Just understand why you're learning it. Most people learn these tools because they are cool, right? Oh, let me open my terminal, right? I have those 36 different plugins in NeoVim, right? But you have to be sure why you're learning it. You're not more productive because you have Vim or VS Code or Visual Studio. That has nothing to do with productivity. Like, yeah, but I can edit the file faster. Come on, man. Like, you spend, what, 20-30% of time, 40% of time writing code. The rest of the time you spend reading code, right? So if this was some sort of a writing competition, then you could say it's true. But it's not. It's bullshit, man. I mean, the amount of time it takes, years to learn Vim to some good level, you could also invest that time learning a database, learning Neo4j, learning SQL, learning, NoSQL database, right? So it's as long as you know why you're learning it, that's great. But saying that using Vim, you're learning it because you're going to be more productive is fucking bullshit, man. No, but it's just true, man. Again, I'm not discouraging anybody to use it. Do whatever hell you want. I don't give a shit, man. It's just know why you're doing it. And you're doing it because you want others to see you how cool you are. It's like, oh, look at my cool Vim. I can press keys without using a mouse. Who the fuck cares, man? I mean, other than 16 years old, horny kids from school, man. Who the fucking gives a shit, man? Like, write whatever you want, right? Use the editor you want. Who cares? Now my dad must accept me as someone who falls in love with a man. No. I mean, look, I'm trying to be real, right? It's true. I mean, look, having a better instrument, of course, has other kind of benefits, right? You're maybe more motivated. And then, of course, there is obviously some difference in some, but you're absolutely right. I mean, a good guitar player is going to play a $100 guitar, still he's going to be great, right? So you're absolutely right. Well, right? I mean, you saw probably a bunch. I have like 15 guitars. You probably saw them on my wall in my streams, right? It's just right, like you're being sold these courses by a premise that somehow you're going to be more productive. Learn Vim or Emacs and you're going to be God mode programmer. It has no correlation to that because you're not writing code 8 hours a day. It's not at the speed of that, right? And it's like another assumption is like you have shortcuts here, man. I can switch between files. I can go to a new line, right? I can do whatever hell you want, almost exactly the same, right? How do you generate a random? That's a good one. That's a good one. Exactly. Yeah. No. But I mean, when you think about Vim, right? Let me just do one thing. When you think about Vim, one moment. Where the fuck is this? So if I don't know, something's off in here. Where's my terminal? Can I fucking open my terminal? No. So don't take me wrong. Look, if we would open Vim in here, right? Let's go to to main. No, that's a fucking binary. No, sorry. Let's go to something, right? Let's go to what do we have? Player hub main, right? So having some of these basic key presses. So for example, when I use Vim mostly, right? When I'm doing when I'm when I'm SSHing into my servers, into my K3s cluster and stuff like that. And knowing some of these things is certainly useful, right? It's like, how can I go to a certain line, and stuff like this, right? How can I go to the end of the line, right? How can I, undo and leave the insert mode, like all of this shit, right? And that's almost sufficient for these types of operations, right? So that's useful. It's certainly better than nano or something like that, right? But does this somewhat made me now suddenly mega more productive? Of course not. I could have remotely opened this fucking file in Notepad if I wanted, and edited the shit and saved it, right? So it's not that so it's just the marketing. The marketing is crazy. Who would have thought that marketing would have played such a huge role in programming community, right? Nerds were careless before. Nobody gave a crap about others. Now there's a lot of influence as well, right? Well, I mean, officially today we haven't done shit. That's great. What a useful stream. I literally fixed nothing. Learned something, sure. Of course, man. It's just bunch of hipsters with the stickers on their laptops and I use Vim hard. Wow. Let me just generate something. A programmer of Vim crying over his terminal and his laptop. Simple, no background. Let's see what Vim makes me hard. Let's do that. Fuck. A sticker that says Vim editor makes me hard with a Vim logo. That's a good one. Vim makes me hard. Yeah. I think this is pretty valid. This is pretty valid, right? Looks like yeah. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, man. It's literally the face of desperation. Look at this. Like, why did I pressed these 16 key bindings and it didn't go to the new line. Oh no. What is happening? Why my code editor no work and I used it for 3 months? Oh my god. No. I learned Vim for 3 years and I press XX13 /\_113 and it didn't do what I wanted. Why? So look at this. It's almost like a timeline. Look at this. Like, okay, it's not bad. It's not, man, this is actually not bad. It generated a pretty solid thing, right? Vim makes me hard. Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I was talking bullshit past 20 minutes. It's not that I haven't been doing that past 2 hours. But I'm gonna shut the fuck up now. Alright, so, you know what? Let's wait a minute. Shut the what is happening here, man? Give me a second. 1 second. Broadcast. This thing, right? Okay, so, camera, right? Is this the camera? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So you know what I'm gonna do, fellas, tomorrow? Just so we have the smooth Golang journey without me failing, because I also want to make sure that, yeah, we can fuck around, but that I also kind of make sure that the VODs that we have recorded are actually of value to at least some people. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow after work, before the stream, is I'm actually going to I'm gonna figure this out on my own. I'm gonna spend maybe an hour with the ChatGPT, right? Just kind of internalize it, so then we can continue. Because what I want to do next with Go is I want us to use some JVT, some JSON Web Token libraries for authorization. I will check the repository. I will 100% check that as well. But I also have, I think I already had some. I think 3 or 4 days ago, I started chatting to ChatGPT as well. So I'm just gonna kind of make sure that I get also what Felix wrote, because I think what he also wrote is kind of what I wanted to do at the start of the stream, right? So I'm gonna do that as well. And then we're gonna see each other again, so we can move from, because yeah, this stream. And I actually think that let me save that as well, Felix. Yeah, actually let me bookmark that right away as well. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, great, super. And then, I mean, who knows? Maybe even in my bootcamp that I started recording on YouTube, maybe by the time when I got to the point of backend in there, maybe we even do Go, but I don't think so, because I think it would be too hard for beginners, especially to. There's an interface section. Okay, great. Give me a second. Interface. I know that I'm not sharing my screen. Interfaces. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Awesome. Super. All right, cool. Guys, I need to go. I want to see if my wife is still awake. We started watching the series on Netflix called, what is it called? Shit. Fool Me Once. What backend? Well, most likely Node, right? Most likely Node, because it's a natural approach. It's a natural direction for people who are not coding, but also not doing full stack, right? Because the beauty of like Fastify.js or Node.js in general is that people who, I spent 5.5 years teaching at the bootcamp before at Thinkful, right? It's a lot hard. There's no better way to teach both aspects of the industry than using JavaScript, because it runs in both ends. So when you start teaching backend to beginners, right, and they already know JavaScript because they just finished the front end part, they don't have to learn both things, like a new language and also a new concept, right? So they just need to learn the concept. What is an API? What is a server? What is a protocol, right? What is a buffer? What is a stream, right? And these types of things, right? So it makes it a lot easier to teach people, because if I would do it, let's say in Go, well, now they have to. I would not use Express ever again unless you have the project to maintain, right? So you have Fastify.js, you have Fastify, you have Nest. I would never use Nest, because again, I don't find these types of things useful. For me, the reason why I'm also learning Go with you guys is because it's very simple, right? There isn't too much crap, right? So if I would always advise Fastify Programmer Network platform, if you signed up already, is running on Fastify, and it's a pretty performant framework as well, considering it's written in JavaScript, in Node.js, but also it's incredibly well thought of. It comes with a very efficient logger written in C. It comes with a AJV, another JSON validator. Basically, all of your endpoints, your URL parameters, response, body, URL parameters, they're all validated using JSON schemas. And you also get Swagger for free. So basically, you can install Fastify Swagger that consumes this JSON and then produces the Swagger spec for you. So there's a lot of nice stuff, right? So one thing that's very hard to beat the JavaScript ecosystem in is exactly this sort of stuff, right? For example, I haven't yet in Go found a way to generate open spec API out of nothing, right? Out of something. And in JavaScript, I mean, the community is so huge, right? That's kind of its main strength, right? Yes, it's not as concurrency model isn't as great as in Go, obviously, right, and stuff. But let's face it, right? For the most consumer-based APIs, who the fuck cares, right? Of course, if you're building, PubSub or a RabbitMQ and stuff, of course you want to use things like Go, right? But yeah, exactly. And this is the strength of JavaScript, right? So if you have a startup, right, you just started a company with your friend, you have, super like limited amount of money, right? I mean, what will you choose? Probably JavaScript on both ends. It's so easy to hire people. There's a package, like you said, for everything, etc., etc. So you have to mature as the developer, and especially if you want to move to managerial positions. When you're a tech lead, team lead, the CTO, you stop just making decisions which are purely technical. It's like, just because Go can handle as twice requests a second, that's the sole reason why we should pick it. No, that's not how you make technical decisions, right? Because if tech purists were making technical decisions, every company would go bankrupt in 3 days, right? So thankfully, you have more reasonable people who know how to balance technology and other things, right? So because that's what you have to do, right? When you have a business, it's not just about the true output of how many requests you can serve. It's about how the fuck do we pay these salaries, right? And stuff like that, right? So I'll pay you big money to teach you, of course. I mean, I'm sure that you guys will teach me. I mean, there's a bunch of you who know Go, so. Look, JavaScript is a beautiful language, right? JavaScript is a beautiful language. The biggest problem with JavaScript is that it's too free, it's too open. You can write the most beautiful JavaScript, you can write the shittiest JavaScript, and that is the fundamental difference between JavaScript and Go. For example, Go really does its best to prevent you to write shit code. JavaScript doesn't prevent you to do anything. So JavaScript, if you're a good developer, you can write beautiful JavaScript. If you're a shitty developer, you will write shitty JavaScript, right? It's very simple. So that is the difference between languages like Go. I mean, not depends, Felix, right? It depends, right? I chill, like I said, I'm sure you can do it, man. Like you just have to start applying. That's how I also left to Scandinavia, man, like almost a decade and a half ago, right? In the same way, right? It's not about the language, it's about the developer. I think for the 80% of that statement, I agree with you, right? The thing is, for example, right, if you start writing Java, right, if you start writing, let's say, languages like Java, I have nothing against any language. In fact, I always say use the language that you know the best. But there are certain paradigms that encapsulate you in a specific frame of mind where you don't have the control. If you start writing Java, you're going to start writing object-oriented programming paradigm, which I personally dislike. I don't think that object-oriented programming is a good paradigm at all. In fact, I don't think we should do that anymore. So I think indeed it's true that, yeah, it's mostly about the developer, but it's also about the tools, right? If the tools kind of help you to, because this is a fundamental issue in like, it's like, why is JavaScript so popular? Well, it's popular, man, because it's accessible, right? It's accessible. The language has to be accessible. It's not about, I mean, almost anyone can write a shitty language with a shitty syntax. It's like, this language, for example, if you look at Lisp, if you look at Clojure, if you look at even Rust and those languages, it's so cryptic that it's terrible. And most developers have moved away from low-level bullshit, right? Because they don't care. You want to have developer experience, accessibility, right? You don't want to be interfacing with a CPU, with a RAM, right? You want to be saying, hey, put a fucking box in here, or run this function when this event happens, right? So you can't undermine the advantage of a simple language, right? Yeah, because those types of people, chillax, are purists, right? I mean, that guy lives off of writing books and programming, so of course that he's gonna say that, right? Oh, music is loud as fuck, shit. I'm sorry for that. Thank you for letting me know. So basically, yeah, right. So you have to account for all of these things, right? I mean, I love all languages. I mean, I've wrote so many languages when I was also younger, and I have no. I mean, I wrote Pascal. I think Pascal was one of my first languages. I think I was maybe 12, and I remember writing my first CLI, a little CLI application in Pascal, where what is your name, Alexander? How old are you? That I think this was something, and then PHP 3. Right? It's beautiful to try out the languages, but the languages that are going to win at the end are the languages which are simple. I mean, look at 2023. Python took over JavaScript. Who the fuck would think that Python would take over anything? I mean, like, who would have assumed that, right? Like 5-10 years ago, right? Well, today Python is the most popular programming language. Why is it popular? Is it because it's fast? Of course not, right? Why is it popular? Because any idiot can learn to write it, right? And I'm saying this in a positive way. I'm not saying that. And this is like where developers have to shift their mindset. It's not about what we want. It's about what community wants. And you can see that the programming is becoming accessible. It's product driven. It's consumer based driven. And languages that are coming on the top are languages that are easier, right? And this is, you don't have to agree with me, just look at the stats. You have top two languages on the planet are dynamic languages, and arguably two most hated languages as well, right? For sure, I mean, Python indeed is used mostly for the AI, for data science, I get that, right? But that's just how it is, right? And you can like it or not, you can be a basement dweller and spit on any language that's not running on a CPU level, but if you look at the statistics today, top two languages on the planet are Python and JavaScript. And if you're looking for a job, right, what should you learn? Like, seriously, is that even a fucking question? Like, which language should I learn to get a job? Probably the least popular language, right? I mean, come on, man. What JavaScript framework should I learn? Come on, man. Learn fucking React. What do you mean what you should learn? Are you right? Go to LinkedIn and see what jobs exist for in the market, and then it's like, oh well, I like stencil.js and Svelte. Who gives a shit, man, what you like, dude? Do you want to get a job? Yes. Well, then learn something that people want, companies want to hire you for. It's not about what you like. Well, I would prefer much rather to write jQuery. I mean, dude, come on, grow up. It's not about what you prefer. You want to get a job, yes. Well, learn the stack that is well standing in the market. It's so simple, right? So that's how it is, right? I mean, I don't know why people do this, right? You can learn JavaScript on both ends and you're going to have a job forever. You can learn Node.js and JavaScript and you have so much power, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to build your own company. There is nothing more powerful than full stack JavaScript. This is a factual thing. Just how many unicorns out there we saw coming out with 2 or 3 people. Like, for example, I think around 9 or 10 years ago, PayPal.com, for their website, they replaced I believe 9 or 10 Java developers for 3 Node.js developers. So look, this is not about if I like that. I'm not saying that what I'm stating here is that what I like or goes. It's not about that. It's just about thing. Imagine that you learn one language. You can build mobile apps, web apps. You can build system level apps with Electron. Now, let's not discuss the quality because consumers clearly don't give a shit about quality. Slack, Discord, and a lot of these tools that you have installed on your machine, they've been written in JavaScript, right? So it's that's what it is, man. Do you like it? I don't care if you like it. It doesn't make it less. It doesn't make it less correct, right? So if you want to have full power to build a full stack application, it's no brainer, man. Isomorphic JavaScript. Product managers don't care how you suffer. Exactly. So that's how it is. You can hate whatever hell you want. You can be influenced by whoever you want. Discord has changed their backend. Their team's already trying to chat. Yeah, I mean, they probably have shit tons of money, right? They probably have shit tons of money. Who knows, right? But it's just I mean, as always, man, it's really be pragmatic and logical. I mean, this is not rocket science. This is not some sort of we're not living some sort of a twisted reality as developers. Like we are workers and job seekers like any other industry. And what should you learn? What you should learn what the market wants. It's no different for any salespeople. They're selling what people want to buy, right? So it's to say is like which I don't know, front end library should I learn? Learn fucking whatever's most popular, man. That's just how it is, right? And when you look at the numbers, React, like for example, I've seen this also hatred towards reactjs. Dude, you can hate whatever fuck you want. It's the most popular library in the world right now. If you exactly, if you need yeah, exactly, learn PHP. True. I mean, look. Let me show you one thing. Actually, I don't have to show it. TechCrunch.com runs on WordPress. It's the most popular tech magazine. CNN, BBC, Disney, and so many like billion-dollar companies, websites, they're using WordPress. Can you imagine that, right? So, I mean, so NSD, this microphone is just, I'm remote, right? I'm not in Denmark. So this is just the microphone when I'm here. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I expected a little bit more, right? Because I don't have my Shure microphone. This is, you probably noticed this is not, I'm on the Balkans. This is my apartment. We came, every year we come for holidays and stuff. We come for holidays to visit family. So we have our own apartment. My wife and I, we bought this place, maybe 8 years ago. I used to work from this place maybe over a decade ago. This used to be my. We're flying back on 14th of January. So in what is it, like less than 2 weeks? It's like flight is like at 6 a.m. or some shit like that. So we need to drive there at like wake up at like 2 a.m. or something. But yeah, but it's good to be here, see some family. I became uncle like 2 months ago, so my brother got a kid, so I'm spending time with them. And no, I'm not on vacation. So I started working this Tuesday. So I was on vacation last week. Very nice, Max. Very nice. I mean, it's not even about the hook, right? It's just about separating concerns, separating that logic into meaningful places, right? What does what, right? No, I only have 2 places, and the place that we have in Copenhagen. Can I speak Danish? Not as a Dane, no. But I can speak some Danish, yes. Danish is a very tough language, and the hardest thing in Denmark for these 7 or 8 years we've been there is that everybody speaks English. So in a way you are, but I speak a little bit of Danish. Yes, I went to school for like a year, and then Corona came, so I'm gonna continue my school sometime soon. It's not hard. It's just, to learn a new language. It's like learning Go, learning Spanish, learning any language, right? You need to use it. So if you don't use it, you cannot learn it. That's why in this bootcamp that I'm recording, if any of you watched it, at least the first video or second video, I say, hey, let's now, when we're learning, HTML and CSS and JavaScript, let's not use programming language. Let's just use language, because let's not make differences between programming languages and spoken or natural languages. They're the same. They have grammar, they have vocabulary, they have rules, and you just have to memorize this. There's, yeah. Except you can't look at any. Yeah, but I mean, they're no different, right? Programming languages, spoken languages, no difference at all. It's just spoken languages, natural languages are way more complicated. They have huge vocabulary, a lot of words, thousands of words, right? So that's, so if you're learning a new language, you can apply the same methods of learning as you would apply it towards learning any spoken language. You have to use it, right? And that is the hardest thing when people say, why don't you learn X? I'm not going to learn a language that I'm will you upload a video today? So I have half of the video prepared for CSS part. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it today because I recorded so the first CSS part is gonna be called Introduction to CSS, and then there's gonna be several different videos there. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it, but tomorrow for sure. I don't think I have those fancy commands here, man. I suck with this thing. Is it YouTube maybe? Oh, there we go. Beautiful. But I'm gonna try to so the idea behind this bootcamp and my YouTube channel is that I want to get as many people as I possibly can to Programmer Network platform. So that's why I'm making it fully free, because at the very least I want. Yeah, we have Discord. Yeah. So basically the business plan, if I may, is like, hey, I'm gonna make an awesome, like, super long and pragmatic course, right? But then people will hopefully sign up on Programmer Network. There are some interesting videos, right? I think if you go to like playlists, I'm gonna share one playlist with you guys. How the fuck do I open the playlist? Give me a second. Yeah. So I'm gonna. So this is a good playlist that you should check out. Felix, man, thank you very much, man. Like, seriously, it's so nice when you get people like this who are proactive, who just stick around and want to code together. Yeah, it's amazing. It's literally why I stream. It's just for the fun of it, right? Just cooperating and working with you guys. It's amazing. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Like, create a playlist for Golang. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit ashamed of the stream today. I don't know if I would even want people to watch the stream today, right? So, but I'll do that, right? It's just a little bit weird. I mean, I haven't done anything useful today, to be very frank with you, right? So it's kind of, it's a fun stream. We had fun, but it's just I don't think that there's anything tangible in the stream today that I would say to my friend, oh, go and watch me talk crap, right? Who watches anything longer than... Actually, so since I've added those bootcamp videos past couple of days, right? There's like a bunch of people watching it. You would be surprised. Chillax, follow 2 users, exact. Tech lead followed me. A young Chris Titus. Titus. I mean, I do have nice tits indeed. Let me see. Chris Titus. It reminds me of Bigus Dicus from this monthly Python, whatever. Oh, Chris Titus Tech. Let me see. Somebody is asking me if I can show my tits. $500 per tit. So $1,000 for both tits, for sure. I mean, look, guys. If this stream sucks anyway, I can just turn it into, like hot tub go noob, right? Who wouldn't come and say, imagine you come to Twitch and it says hot tub Golang noob, and I'm laying down in a hot tub and I'm like, what is an interface? Ooh, what is an interface, right? I mean, who wouldn't pay for that, man? Come on. I mean, right? Instantly, million views. Ooh, is this a pointer? Ugh. Is this a pointer? Ooh. Come on. I mean, instantly rich. And I buy this goofer, goofer. Come on, right? Beautiful. I mean, it would be, I know that people would come for that, right? Because of the platform Programmer Network. That's why. Because this stream is about this. Shut up and take my money. I will buy a bikini, guys, tomorrow. I'm gonna buy a bikini tomorrow with a Goofer logo all over it. Can you stream some Dota 2? I don't play games, unfortunately. Last game I played was New World, maybe a year or two ago, I don't remember. And I had enough for the next 10 years. Mashallah, you're gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna buy the same costume, the same bikini that Borat had. But I played New World with Rebecca, and I had to see a psychiatrist. I met so many fucking freaks in that game that I genuinely got scared. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. That was brutal. I still take shock therapies. In the basement, my neighbor is giving me shock therapies because of that game. Dude, that was the craziest experience in a video game of my life. Luckily, I survived. Crazy stuff, man. Some of those gamers are crazy, genuinely, man. Super crazy. Making pay on my front. Shut up, Nigma. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I think I wasted enough of your time. You can always go back for round 2. Exactly. Stockholm syndrome, right? Yo. Well, you're kind of late, my friend. I need to go. I think my wife is still awake. We started watching this series. We started watching this series on Netflix called Fool Me Once. Check it out. It's a very good series. Netflix. Sometimes you know when a YouTuber channel is going big. This one is your channel. Oh, thank you very much, Arif. I doubt that. I doubt that anything here is gonna become big. Except, never mind. I wanted to say a joke, but whatever. Let's stop there. But thank you for your compliment, man. What episode you're on? I think around episode 5 or whatever. Anyway, my wife can barely turn on a computer. She's completely, thanks God or thanks somebody. If my wife was a nerd like me, I've been with my wife for almost 16 years. If she was a programmer, we would have killed each other first 3 months probably. You can only have one insane person in the house, and in my family, I'm the insane one, right? So my wife is completely detached from computers. This is the fundamental mistake that many couples make. When people meet, right, they make this fundamental newbie mistake, right? You need to find a person in life that you align with on the core values, on the beliefs. You can't find a wife and say, oh, I found a super hot girl, she's writing Rust. What the fuck, man? I mean, it's not that Rust is gonna keep you together, because there's gonna be a new language in like 3 months. If you wanna find a girlfriend or a boyfriend based on a programming language, especially in web development, you guys are gonna be together for like 10 minutes. Because the new language is coming out, man, in 10 minutes already, right? So what the fuck, right? You get what I mean? It's like, oh, I found this super hot girl. Boom, she left me. Come on, man, right? You get what I mean? It's like, oh, I found this super hot girl who writes React, left me. New framework came out, right? Come on. So it's you have to. Hot girls are interested in Golang. Clearly. Actually, what is the Golang on the list of popularity? Most popular programming. I know that I'm not sharing my screen. I don't actually care. Development tools, developer ecosystem 2023. Okay, let's see which programming languages. Okay, used in the last 12 months. JavaScript 61%. What? Python 54%. HTML, SQL, Java. Man, Java is quite high. Go is better than Rust. Rust is 10%. It's somewhere in the bottom. Go is 17%. C Sharp. I would expect C Sharp to be... Yeah, C Sharp is right below C++. So it's first 10 position. C Sharp is a beautiful language. I like C Sharp. So, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, C Sharp is top 10. But C# is a nice language, right? I think C# is a that whole ecosystem, .NET ecosystem is a. But I think Go is. I think my prediction, right? I mean, look, I didn't just wake up one day and I said, oh, let me just start streaming Go, right? I'm betting on Go as well, to be very frank with you. I think Go is gonna grow more. And why do I think that? It's logical, right? It's a very stable language. It's a very simple language. Developers like it. People who try Go, they generally like Go, right? So yeah, so it's gonna. Of course, you cannot. If you desperately need a job, of course you're gonna find it easier maybe with as a JavaScript developer, but actually maybe not, right? For example, again, at Dream Data, we're using Go for almost everything except all teams are writing Go except mine, because we have a nodejs API, right, that interfaces. It's almost like a gateway. We have a gateway, and we're going to put some APG from GCP or GCP gateway in front of it, right? So right, yeah. What is your thoughts on HTMX? Look, I'm not a fan of server-side rendered crap, right? I mean, unless there's a super good reason. I'm not a fan. Like, the thing is, it took, so maybe 15, 20 years ago, right? 15, 20 years ago, we desperately tried to decouple things. And then we got to the point of finally doing that. We had a client, and client would interface with API or different services. Now we're falling back to the same trap. Now I see this bullshit thing, Next.js. I see that crap, and we are moving backwards. I mean, dude, like WordPress has been server-side rendering shit and PHP like 25 years ago, right? So I'm not sure why people are making such a huge fuss about, oh, this is rendered in the server. Man, the first websites on the planet were initially rendered in the server, right? So, and then we went away from that. We said, hey, why do we need to spend all of this computation power in the server to generate these pages, right? So unless it's, you have a super good reason, unless you can tell me why do you like it, you probably don't need it. It's the same with Next.js. It's like, well, I'm using Next.js because everybody is using it. Dude, like if you are making such decisions based on what someone else is using, you're either a junior or you suck, right? Google, yeah, I mean, look at Programmer Network. I mean, Programmer Network, man, the platform that I built, that I'm streaming here, right? I mean, we are now position 16 on Google. And every time I write a single article there, we climb. Like in 3-4 months, if I continue generating articles using ChatGPT, we're gonna be like top 3, right? So it's like, but community, as I recorded in that video, influencer-driven development, programming propaganda, a lot of people are just repeating shit. It's like somebody at one point in time wrote an article that single-page apps are bad, not indexed, they suck for search engines, and you have people who are just repeating that shit. Most of these people never actually built a single-page app, nor they have actually tried to even see how it ranks, right? So the question is, like, if you don't have a great reason to write something, right? So look, I'm not arguing that static pages aren't more SEO friendly. They are, right? Because they are usually, not always, usually they render quicker, so you have first rendered point or whatever is it called, whatever Google calls it, faster and stuff like that. But this is so insignificant. It's so right. It's like, just ask the reasonable questions, right? So, for example, I remember I have a video on my other YouTube channel. Maybe 11 years ago, I recorded a course on Polymer.js. Polymer.js was the only thing in my career that I was actually excited about, something in front end, was native web components. So in native web components, you had Shadow DOM, but unfortunately that idea died, right? But fundamentally, the idea was that Polymer.js the Google would create an ecosystem of public components where people could post things, but unfortunately that idea failed. But either way, right, like, you have to have a very good reason to render shit in your API, right? Because again, this doesn't come, like, technical decision you make has consequences, right? It's not like, oh, I'm not going to render shit in the client, I'm going to render it in the server. Do you know the implication of that, right? I mean, can you imagine the implication of that, right? Well, you should keep asking why. You're absolutely right. You should keep asking why, and you should just ignore it, right? Because again, today we have Next.js. In a year, we're gonna have Fast.js, whatever. Like, you get what I mean. So this shit, it never ends. And the reason why you get the hype is because of people who live off of these videos, right? Because for example, that there are many videos on YouTube where content creators of any kind, they talk about importance of releasing the video first. So for example, when Bun.js was released, think about it this way, please. Don't take anything that I say as anything factual, but let me trigger you to think about this. When Bun.js was released, when Bun.js had version 1.0, when you went to your YouTube feed, only thing you could fucking see there was Bun.js is the fastest, it's gonna kill Node.js, it's the revolutionary blah blah blah. Since then, you haven't heard about it. Why? Because if you're a content creator, you have to release shit first. You have to prepare this crap, you have to research, right? And this is just how it works, right? It's a competition to release content, and this content influences people, right? So that's how it works. That's content creation in a nutshell. If you're late 2 days, 3 days, good luck pushing your video to anybody, right? Actually, jQuery is still very heavily used, and jQuery is a great library. I mean, for example, if I was building, what's the image behind you? It's, let me remove this blur with the camera. Give me 1 second, where is this crap? I think now you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, you thought it's some hot chick, right, didn't you? With a sword in her hand. Makes no sense. I've never in my life envisioned a hot chick holding a lightsaber. Have I, actually? Okay, let me pull that back. I would love to see some sort of homeworks in your bootcamp. Can you, Razine, can you elaborate a little bit of that? What do you mean homeworks? And please, absolutely open to feedback. What do you mean homeworks? Oh, you mean, yeah, we're gonna have that, man. We're gonna have the challenges and stuff like that. It's just we haven't gotten, maybe in a video or two, we're gonna do that, right? So I'm with you, for sure, man. Don't worry about that. You're gonna have some challenges and stuff. Yes, definitely, definitely. Absolutely. We're just not there yet, right? You cannot, there's certain amount of theory and information that you need to know and conceptualize before I can give you assignments, right? So of course, you cannot write the bootcamp that I'm doing is going to be very practical, and we're going to be building things, but you cannot just start building things because there is a certain amount of minimal information, at least, that you have to conceptualize, right? I know, Rebecca, I know. I made a mistake. I actually paid 100 euros for this microphone, and I wanted to leave it here so I don't have to, you know, actually, it's in a way, it's kind of sad because now I see how incredible the microphone I bought. And I mean, of course, that microphone in Copenhagen is like 350 euros or something like that, but still, it's actually huge difference, right? Because this microphone, this Blue Yeti, you have to literally speak exactly at the same spot to get the good audio. And with the Shure MV7 that I have in Copenhagen, I can do this and this, right? And it kind of almost like it's programmed to pick up exactly what it has to, right? KB4, it sounds good, man. I'm gonna round up as well now. I'm gonna round. I don't know NSD. I mean that's just that actually. I think fundamentally, right? I think one thing that I rarely talk about here in this stream, right, is that when I look at the average age of a Twitch viewer, for example, I think it's around age of 24 to 28 or something. But then there's a huge group of a lot younger individuals, right? So there's a lot of younger people who have different concept or idea of what programming is and what cool is, right? Like it's like when you have this guy who is a Vim guy, I don't know his name, this guy who's very popular. Then you have this gaming guy, pirate guy. A lot of them are, a lot of younger people are finding themselves maybe attached to that type of persona. A guy with a hat, right? Like talking about like pressing his keys really fast. Like yeah, I work at the Netflix, right? And I get that, right? I mean, it's easy to attach yourself to that, right? So that's why, right? I mean, it's really about a persona that you follow, right? I was like that when I was very young. I was right. So it's how it works, right? It's what sells, right? It's not about what you do. It's about how you're perceived and how entertaining you are, right? Like I mean. Right? See the skills? Right? Instantly hacker, right? How cool I am. Beat that, motherfuckers. Beat that speed. You should like. Do I see some subs? Are you guys not subscribing to my channel already? When I was working at Google, when I was a Tech 10x developer, I was writing code with my feet. Trust me, just subscribe for this course, $9.99, and I'll tell you more about it. When I was working at Netflix, I was writing fast programs, fast codes. I would write them very fast with my hands, and then the code would work faster. Because if you learn Vim, if you just buy my Vim course, your JavaScript is going to work a lot faster because you're going to type it very much faster. Look at me writing code really fast on my super cool $300 keyboard, which is split. I split my keyboard in two pieces, because that's very cool. Look at this. Look at that. I have a keyboard here. I have two keyboards, man. I'm coding on two keyboards. And you fucking noobs are coding on one keyboard. Look at it. Look at this. Mechanical. It's a mechanical keyboard. There we go. No, that's how it is. Look. All of these guys who have thousands of people watching them, more power to them. Those guys are super fucking clever. To get that amount of people to watching you read Twitter and read random blogs, you have to be smart. So regardless, this might seem I'm just fucking around. I respect all people, and more power to those who manage to get to that level of success. I'm sure that that Bin guy, I'm sure that he's been building YouTube videos for many years, and he put a lot of effort and he's earned his place. It's just, again, majority of rest of us here on this platform, we have 50 people watching us, 30, 70, right? And this is just the average, and that's how it is, right? So if you care about these numbers, you have to change what you're doing. You have to react to reactions of reactions. You have to talk about some stupid shit, some drama of why some Google executive fired someone else. This is what sells, right? And it's the same with the news. If nobody reads, Yeah, that guy. I also know that guy. His videos are recommended to me his videos are recommended to me on on YouTube, right? So it's the same shit, right? That's just how it is, right? It's just how it is, and what can you do, right? It's more power to those people. I'm sure that they put so much effort, right, into this Twitch and into their YouTube channels. I'm sure that, that Theo guy, I think he does this full time, right? So does this pirate. There's this pirate guy, right? It's just don't glorify anybody, right? All of us are just assholes, right? And everybody has some agenda of some sort, right? So the person who writes Rust is clearly going to sell your Rust. But look, so I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you remember. There was a guy on YouTube called Fun Function. I don't know if you guys remember this guy. You should check him out. This guy was from Sweden. A super nice guy. I really like the guy. And I remember a couple of years ago, he resigned from YouTube and he went back to Spotify in Stockholm to work there. And he had a really good video how sad YouTube life is. That's why I say I would never do this full time, because I worked when I was here in the Balkans. I worked for 4 or 5 years remote. So I was actually working for companies with real people, and I was so lonely, man, because I was just sitting in the same room here, and I was like, man, at one point I literally installed this Chrome extension that simulates the sounds of sitting in a cafeteria, because it's like people underestimate the danger of not working with people on a long term, right? And this guy, Fun Function, he spoke about it. He's like, yeah, I was making money and all this shit, but I'm just talking to the camera alone every day in my room like an idiot. And people don't realize how hard that is, man. It's like, it's not that you just lay down in your bed and you're like, okay, today I'm gonna record a video for YouTube. Those guys literally have to come up with some content every single day, man. Imagine how I don't have to do shit, man. I go to my work, I love my colleagues, I love my company, I know what I have to do, I know, but imagine if you're like a YouTuber and like you just have to come up with shit all the time. You have to act on the videos, so those goldfishes right now, this generation who can't focus on for more than 20 seconds, just don't leave your videos, right? So it's difficult, right? It's not easy for those guys, right? So a lot of people wish to be doing that job, but it's not that great, it's not that great. All of the kids today, they want to be Twitch stars, they want to be YouTube stars. But what you should be striving for, man, is to work with real people. You should be striving to sit on your bike, go to work, have a chit chat with your friends in a hallway over lunch. I mean, look, do whatever fuck you want, any of you, I don't care. But I'm telling you, this is way more human than being alone in a room whole day, every day, and thinking, why am I maybe lonely or anxious? What could it be? Maybe because you're just sitting alone in a room whole day, every day, right? I mean, what do you mean why? I mean, it's so it's like it's just a fake impression of this glorious life. It's like, this guy's a YouTuber, he must be killing it. I mean, come on, man. It's not it's not that simple. Those guys come up with videos every single day, right? And you know, they have to come out with subjects out of thin air. They have to constantly seek, what should I record? What should I say today, right? Because it's such a competitive landscape. YouTube is super hard, man. I mean, it's like, I see when I upload my videos, and genuinely, I think some of my videos are super good. Some of my videos are like, have very good points, they're based on real experience, and then you get like 200 views, right? Because why? Well, because there's like 7 billion other people uploading the videos in the same moment as you know, as I am. So it's a very competitive landscape, and those people are under a lot of stress, right? Because they have to compete with so many other content creators, and we could be bots. I mean, you could be my farm of bots for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that. Hey guys, I've released a new video. Can you please open all of the 8 browsers that exist out there and just click refresh a couple of times, maybe hit a like. For example, maybe create 50 fake accounts, you know. Speaking to old grandmas at the market. I mean, that must help, speaking to some older generation, right? But that's what it is, man. All right, guys. So I'm gonna end this stream in style. All right, guys. I'm gonna go right now, and I'm gonna write code in a very fast way. I'm gonna write a fast code, very efficient code, and I'm gonna do it all manually. I'm not gonna use the mouse. I'm not gonna use the keyboard. I'm actually write without the keyboard. I transcended from keyboards. Now I'm using my mind to write code with my fingers. So it's called mind fingers. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I mean, actually, fuck you all. You all suck compared to me, because I'm such a great developer and you're not. You're never gonna get to my level of, yeah, that's what it is. And, you know, yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna put on my headphones, maybe hack a couple of things, and then write 3 books. Maybe I'm gonna, you know, write a programming language in the next 20 minutes that's gonna be the most popular, and then I'm gonna all right, enough of crap. All right, guys, it's been fun. Thank you for being around, listen to my bullshit, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much. And what is to say? Thank you for teaching me Go. I still suck very much. Let's rate someone. I never did that, and I don't have patience for that. I'm too lazy. And I'm gonna go just kiss my wife, write a programming language by the time when I get to her, and that's what it is, fellas. That's what it is. All right. Be well, fellas. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye. Cheers. Chillax, likewise, my friend. Likewise. Have a great one. Thank you so much for your help. I hope to see you tomorrow, man. If you're around, come by. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye. Ciao.